Hi everybody, welcome to the Offstage. Is that where we ended up with?
Offstage?
Yeah,
The offstage? This is
Offstage,
good. This
Offstage,
is good. This has
Offstage.
to be
Okay,
the
okay.
episode. It's us
Yes,
arguing
okay.
about the title. If only they could see the multitude of options.
Sure, sure,
Gone
sure.
by
That's true.
now.
That is true. That is true. If only you knew that this thing was almost called. And then where I'm gonna put all the names here.
All of
Yeah.
them.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Offstage. I'm Josafath Reynoso, and this is Maranda DeBusk, or you should probably introduce yourself, actually.
Oh, hey.
Hi everybody, I'm Josafath Reynoso. Welcome to the Offstage.
Hey, everybody. I'm Miranda DeBusk. I'm just going to give my whole name. I was doing an intro. Hi, everybody. My name is Miranda DeBusk. I'm here to hang out off stage with you today.
I like that.
Hang
Okay.
off stage? Hang out off stage? Hey, everybody. Welcome to the offstage. My name's Miranda, and I'm here with.
Hi, I'm Josafath Reynoso.
And
Josaphat?
we're
Yes.
here to talk to you a little bit about things that happen off the stage. Although I think we talked a lot about being on the stage for being off the stage.
Right. We're talking a little bit too much about work. It's fine. I like that we talked about the beginning of the work, right? The beginning both of our work, but also kind of like when you try to get a job.
Yeah.
So there's that.
There are gems in there. I'm not complaining. I think this has been fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Offstage. I am Josaphat,
I'm Miranda.
and we are gonna chat with you a little bit about the things that happen off stage and, sometimes on stage. Why not? So enjoy the episode, I guess. Cue the intro.
I think we want to talk a little bit about why we're doing this, right? Episode 0, why are we here? Let me do it this way. In the spirit of conversation. What made you want to do a podcast?
Sure, that's good. That's a good question. That's a good question. So why does this podcast exist? Well, I feel like one of the things that moved us from the beginning about Skene was telling the stories, right? Telling the stories of people that are on stage and backstage and off stage and in the front of the house and the ticket office, whenever. So I think that I like what we are doing with Skene in the sense of gathering stories from around the world and getting to hear about people's work. But I feel like we needed to hear a little bit more about the personal part, right? About the thing that is the thing that you do off stage, right? The things that you do when you're not working, like when you're not plotting or drafting or acting or rehearsing or whatever, right? Like what are the things that you chat with your friends after tech rehearsal, right? Or on the wings before your scene is called, or waiting for a cue, right? So we always have those moments in the theater. I feel like the theater the theater and the performing arts in general, right? Like I feel like they always have this kind of like voids, right? This moments of silence that where we kind of like connect on a personal level that don't necessarily translate to what you see on stage. And those are some of the elements, some of the moments that I wanted to rescue, some of the pieces and bits that for me are the most enjoyable, but that I don't always get to read about on a review, right, for a show.
I'm really excited. I really like the idea of making space to celebrate that we aren't the work all the time, right? Sometimes it's the impact of the work, sometimes it's the lessons that you've learned, sometimes it's the funny story about the work because, we tend to work a lot. That is a shared characteristic across a lot of us, is that we work a lot and we work doing something that we love, right? I was just talking the other day with the set designer from Waitress, the show that I just opened at Music Theater Wichita, Jay Branson, and Jay was saying that he was talking, somehow the context, he was talking to somebody, and they were asking him, like, what is your hobby? And he was like, theater. And they're like, no, that's your job. And he was like, it's both.
Mm-hmm.
And that really, like, hit me, right? As, in this world of, like, what is work-life balance and how do you put the thing down, and what is theater doesn't operate in an 8-hour work day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday.
Sure.
It is not quite as simple as close his laptop, it's Friday, right? Love that meme. I'm usually seeing it on my way to rehearsal.
Right.
And so it's not saying that like you have to work all of the time, but it is saying find the space in between, right? Where there are spaces where it is work, and there are spaces where the work is still play. Because I think certainly for me, and I think for a lot of folks, like we got into this because it is play, right? We are creating, we are making art, we are, even at the most poignant, it still has its levity. Even at its most comedic, it still has its purpose, right? Like there's so many elements to that, but we often only see the stuff that's in the pictures at award shows, the stuff that's in the review, the stuff that's in the formal write-up about this person or this project or whatever that is. You see the perfectly curated photos from on my Instagram that are the 4 shots of this show once it was done, and not the 8 versions of the light plot that happened in between, or that I poured coffee on my pants on my way out the door and needed to go change before I could get to rehearsal, and then was 5 minutes late to rehearsal because I couldn't go to rehearsal with steaming coffee pants. Right. Those are the things that you should rescue that I think need to be celebrated, right? Where's the joy? Where's the fun? Where is the space between? Because the same way that we're not a 9 to 5 where we're just going to close it on Friday and disappear, though that might be your boundary, and that's great if that works for you. We have these little moments, these hour breaks, right? We have dinner break. We have the 5 minutes before the call starts where you're just like joking around and playing invisible hacky sack, whatever it is. What are those things? What's the space between?
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of, I love artist statements, right? And I always, it's one of the assignments that I have with my students, right? For them to write their artist statement. And yet, I mean, I think the artist statement does tell you what it's important for you, but it doesn't necessarily tell you who you are. Who you are lives in those kind of like interstitial spaces, right? Like I think that I love asking people what they do in their dark days, right? And for those of you who don't know it, like dark day is kind of like a contractually day where you're not required to be on stage or on set or whatever. It's just a day that you get off. So I love the idea of asking people, when you don't have to theater, what do you do, right? When you don't have to be the designer, the actor, the musician, what do you fill your time with, right? And I think it's fair for some people to say, well, I just go watch a show. That's fine. I don't. I take my ass to the movies or go eat something, right? Or go to a park, because I cannot be in another like closed windowless space for yet another day. But that is me.
Yeah, I'm always very impressed by people who really love to see theater after they make theater. Because I enjoy watching shows. There is I didn't get here by accident. Well, I think I did get here by accident, but that wasn't the accident. And if I've done like 3 shows back to back and I have been in tech for the better part of like 2 or 3 months, the last thing I want to do is go sit in another audience.
Yeah.
Like, love it, mean it, very glad that it's happening. Hope that, would love to send people to go see it.
Right.
But I can't sit in another theater. I just need to be in a chair that I like.
Right.
Or with a back on it, right? You spend too much time on a butt board behind a light board, like bent over, trying to like look at your notes or type, or it's just like my lower back says, please don't.
Yeah.
Do anything else.
The physical toll of being a theater artist, not even a theater artist, because I mean I think that like actors, they just fucking wreck their bodies. Scenic painters, I mean they have the worst backs in the business, but still even if it's just sitting in tech for 12 hours at a time, that takes a toll. It has to take a toll. Particularly when you're sitting on one of those boards like you guys sit on.
No. I tried to explain it to my eye doctor once. He was like, you have really dry eyes. And I was like, my dude, I sit in the dark in a high contrast space with screens very close to my face and incredibly bright things that I have to stare at far away from me.
Intently.
I'm looking for specific and small details.
Yeah.
And I am like flipping from far away and bright to very close and bright.
Yeah.
For 8 to 10 hours at a time. Yeah, is there something I can do about it? Because this is a lot.
Do you do the dark glasses in the theater?
The
sunglasses?
Sometimes I will. That was a trick that I picked up. I think I've sort of picked it up twice for 2 different reasons. Because I'll do it like I did Hedwig a couple years ago, and audience blinders are great in a punk rock musical. They are very punk. They make perfect sense. You kind of can't do the show without them. And I feel a little bad, right? Because like that's a lot of light right in the audience's eyes. But I had to program it.
Sure.
So there was me, and it was like I'll like park them down so that they're not flashing at me super bright when I'm like getting the rhythm right or working on something else. But there's a point in time where I just need those to flash in my face so that I can understand the totality of the picture.
Of the effect, yeah.
Yeah, and at some point, after like the 3rd time I watched it, I was like, I watched the show with my sunglasses on. Like I went to opening and pulled my sunglasses down, and was like, I promise all of you are going to be fine because you're going to watch it.
Right.
The time I watched this scene this week, I cannot anymore.
I don't know how it would feel if I guess I'm used to it, but if I'm going to an opening night and I see that the lighting designer is sitting next to me and they have like sunglasses on, it's like going to a doctor and hearing your doctor cough. I don't know. It's like I don't know. I don't know if I can do it.
No, that's real. I've also done it the other way, the like less traumatizing way of doing it was when I had Kenton Yeager, who was my art professor when we were in grad school, was trying to explain to me why I needed to make a scene brighter at a theater that's audience was primarily older, right? Like retirees and older. And he handed me like 4 pieces of gel stacked on top of each other and said, "Oh,
what is that? I didn't know we could do that. I guess I can't. Okay.
Was it the thumbs
Gel.
up? Oh, thumbs up.
It's thumbs up. Well, I can't do it. Can you see me doing it?
No.
That's weird. Okay.
I don't know. But he handed me 4 pieces of gel and said, "Look through it and look at the stage." And I did, and you couldn't see anything. He was like, "Your contrast has to be higher. It has to be brighter. You have to be able to like differentiate, even if intensity is not something that your eyes, handle well anymore."
Yeah.
And so now occasionally I will pull my sunglasses down and go, "Can I still? Is the contrast in this scene high enough that I can still tell what's going on, even if it's like there's an optical difference?"
Sure. Wow, that's a nifty trick.
Yeah. Kenton's full of nifty tricks.
He's full of those, yeah. Cool. All right. Do you think we have what we need?
I think so. Do you think so?
I think so. I think we have more than we need.